think the city doesn't know what violence is. They think that the problems come with violence after the fact, but being put out of your house is extremely violent.
What do we do? Stand up like that! When unhoused lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that! When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that! The way that this city has treated the unhoused community is absolutely abysmal. It is absolutely deplorable. And we're here today to say no more. No more of this. If you have tens of millions of dollars to call in the National Guard because nobody trusts your police department, you got tens of millions of dollars to start building affordable housing for these people right now.
I spent the last 2 years in northern Iraq working with displaced IDPs and refugees. And in a country whose budget is just minute compared to what America has, probably even minute compared to what Minnesota has, they were treated with so much more humanity and dignity there. When they first showed up, they emptied out school buildings, they emptied out hotels, they found everything they could to take care of displaced peoples. But here in Minneapolis, what do? We drive up with bulldozers and we destroy their things and push them away. And we're supposed to be an example of what a humanitarian nation looks like, but instead we just ship money abroad and do that as an image, but at home we torture these people and treat them like dictators treat people in other countries. It's really disgusting, and I think that this should be a wake-up call for all the Minneapolis leadership as well as the people to realize that what we are doing here to our own people is absolutely unacceptable.
No more cops for park evictions!
No more cops for park evictions!
No good cops in a racist system!
No good cops in a racist system!
No more cops for park evictions!
What's going on in these homeless camps is the same practice of colonization when they first landed here. And if we talk about affordable housing, then you must be talking about free, public-owned housing, abolishing private in the whole entirety. I'm not here for defunding police either. In the first week, we defunded the police 3%, and they made that state news. What the police department did was strip funding for their mental health organizations, strip funding from their rape testing kits. They don't fucking care. You need to abolish it in every single degree. When we do these rallies and we have police just down the street, or we have people saying, don't touch the precinct, all you're doing is making those who have this anger at the same thing we have at the colonial society, you make them a target. You ostracize them. What we should do is stand together. Have you ever heard of the Black Bloc? Is that what I do, you do. That's what it means, is I got your back. We don't want white allies. We want white accomplices.
We don't get no justice.
They don't get no peace.
No justice.
No peace. Prosecute the police. No justice. No peace. Prosecute the police. No justice. No peace.
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
They need to be funding things like healthcare for all. They need to be funding housing. They need to fund education. They need to hire teachers that look like me and you and people that have that same experience, because people like Jeff and a woman who attacked me last week at one of these was talking about, oh, well, Martin Luther King was like a peaceful guy. And I was like, and I told her, I said, they still killed him though, so I don't really know what you're talking about. And she said, what's your solution? I said, I'm 21, so I don't fucking have a solution for you, but I'm gonna be a teacher, so that's my small solution. And I've spent a lot of my own money this summer helping in the unhoused community, helping in the south side and the north side when there was all the burning, which wasn't violence, it was trauma. So anyways, but so I think the city and the state has put their money in all of the wrong places. And while people think that like the chief, it's cool that he's a black man, well, I think that is pretty cool, but that doesn't really do a lot because we had a black president and we still had all the problems. So it doesn't matter.
It's also important to point out that Bangoura is black as well.
Okay, so he's black, but the parks aren't being welcoming to people who literally don't have a house, and then they want to bulldoze the only belongings people have when that's their home. Like, that makes no sense.
My name's Jeff. I just want to give a shout out to the white folks, Caucasians that show up, because contrary to what he's saying, our opinions do matter as well as those of our families and our relatives. They have a lot of power and a lot of influence.
I never said it didn't matter. Why are you being so fragile?
I disagree with what you're saying, and
What part of it?
that's okay, because using violence and destruction, what do you think that's going to do for the white folks out here, for your family?
Jeff, I'm asking you, how do you feel about the unhoused community and the way the city treats them right now? How do you feel about that?
I feel it's a shame. I really
Why?
do. Because it persists.
Okay. And
What are the solutions? It's a perpetual problem. It's frustrating.
Understood. But then I want to ask you, how do you feel how the city's leadership has treated the unhoused community, and what can they do differently?
Terrible. Terrible.
What
Despite that, I don't feel like we should destroy things or resort to violence.
What do we do?
A lot of our shelters are taken through Social Security. Through Social Security, that's back pay, right?
Okay.
Per kid, we talk about Mary's Place. Mary's Place downtown. How many people know Mary's Place? Right. They're paying extra. They're making the moms pay extra per kid, hundreds of dollars per week, per 2 weeks, per month. That adds up to, I told, because I was a case manager, I told my families it's better just to get yourself an apartment and spend the same amount of money to have your own place, right?
So it comes back to what Dolphin said, the solutions that the county is providing clearly are not solutions for the people. How do we change the solutions that the county is providing to be solutions for the
Correct.
people?
This is an ongoing cycle, right?
So how do we make how do we hold the county accountable and make them give actual long-term solutions?
Getting more of us into those meetings, getting the 2-year degree, the 4-year degree, being in those county meetings where they make those decisions, saying, we need to bring a different perspective. I've been homeless, I've had family or friends who have been homeless. Let me tell you how unrealistic it is to pay $600, $700, $800 a month when this is supposed to be a shelter. That's unrealistic. So that means anyone in power in your roles with the money, making effective laws change, you need to make it more affordable or no money at all because there's money available to help so that people can actually get themselves set in a place to live with their kids, comfortable, and able to pursue their dreams and what they need to do moving forward. And the last thing I want to say is, I think Mary's Place, just going to throw it out there, I think they do a great job of setting families up for success moving forward. They'll help people with giving them additional funding with money. They'll give them $200, $300 extra when they leave. They'll help them get an apartment, and they'll help them get them a job. But the reason why I spoke up is merely to say, if we can get into those positions, meaning 2 or 4-year degrees, where we can talk to these people making these laws and policies, I realize they'll listen.